Hey, welcome to my new Dinomist rant. On the last rant, you don't have to watch it if you haven't. Earlier, I had recorded a video. It's one of my first videos available on the channel where I asked Konami to please give Dinomist support. I'm not very good at holding on to thoughts. My thoughts derail and they bounce all over the place. I don't finish my points, so it's a very horribly made video. I can't read scripts. I'm pretty bad at reading, and I have to go unscripted, but unfortunately my points tend to derail, and so I wanted to make this one shorter, sweeter, and I formed a script by laying out the cards in an order so I can go into them by that fashion. It's pretty self-explanatory for me on what I want to talk about, and I just wanted to again go over just a quick recap on why I feel like this archetype isn't given the love that it needs. So thank you for watching, and if you are willing to, if you agree with me, please also speak out. I feel like Konami is very open to actually listening and giving support when it is shown. And I know there are Dinomist fans out there, so I want to give a quick, not going over every issue, but just a quick, like, let's talk about Dinomist for a second, because I want to get a discussion started. Okay, so just on myself, I just need to get this off my chest more so. So the Dinomist monsters are a series of monsters that are, just to give it, if you don't know what Dinomist are, then why are you watching this video? If you don't know what Dinomist are, they are an archetype of monsters from a long time ago. Pendulum era, obviously. But they are a small series of monsters. You can see every single one of them right here. There are effectively 8 total monsters. If I were to look up Dinomist right now, we can actually confirm that. We have, yeah, there are a total of 8 monsters. Very unfortunate, but it's fine. Where all of them are designed to do a unique thing. For instance, Dinomist Terran is a deck searcher. All good archetypes have it. You know, Elemental Hero Stratos, pretty good one. Cyber Dragon Core, pretty effective. Dinomist Terran, however, only activates. Don't pay attention to the pendulum effect. Pay attention to the monster effect here, if you're watching the video. If you're not, I'll read it out for you in case this is background noise. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add a Dinomist card from your deck to your hand. Which means that you need to not only set up Terran, but you have to be able to beat over something with an 1800 body in order to do so, to actually get that search off. Which is extremely unfortunate that this deck does not have an effective searcher. And so one of the problems that Dinomist need, if they were to get any new support, they would absolutely need a deck searcher. I 100% feel that that is absolutely what they need. They need a generic searcher, not generic like machine or something, but just like a Dinomist searcher. Like when it's normal or special summoned or something, you can search a Dinomist. That is not too difficult to ask. And now they do have a pretty effective form of searching that we will get to right now, actually, because it is necessary. Dinomist Charge. Dinomist Charge is a continuous spell that says when this card is activated, you can add a Dinomist from your deck to your hand. It has a second effect, why it's a continuous. Once returned, if a Dinomist is added from the field to your extra deck face up, add one of those cards to your hand. That is really cool, because the point is that nowadays in Master Rule, well, Master Rule 4 did this, but in Master Rule 5, they had effectively kind of killed the pendulum mechanic, which is for the better, but they killed the pendulum mechanic by making it to where summoning from your extra deck has to be done under link rules, whether it is to the extra monster zone or to a zone that a link monster points to, which is extremely unfortunate and makes pendulum summoning from the extra deck extremely hard unless you set up big monsters like link 4 monsters or link 3 that point, you know, down. Very unfortunate, not fun, and it's very tough. However, pendulum summoning from your hand does not do this. You can pendulum summon anywhere. So if you have from your hand, then it allows you to kind of act unabated, and that's pretty nice. And this card, adding them from your extra deck to your hand, really helps. Like, it helps, because now you can pendulum summon regardless. But it's once per turn, like it's a hard once per turn. Now, see, that's okay. The problem is that it says you can only activate one Dinomist charge. So that's really tough, because If like both of the effects were hard, that's whatever, not a big deal, because then you can use the other for whatever reason, like for to bounce with Dinomist Howling, which we'll get to Howling here in a second. But the fact that it stops you from because these effects are soft once per turn, because you can only activate them once per turn. That is extremely unfortunate, but it's a powerful effect, so that's fine. But the thing is that the only two good support cards that Dinomist have are Charge and Howling. The rest of them are extremely bad. And like for instance, this is a field spell. All of them gain 300 attack and defense and become Ancient Gears. Like, that's unfortunate. It does stop battle floating, but who runs battle floating in 2021? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, yeah, I guess it stops Avermax, but it's very, like, you're not going to get this. Like, this does absolutely nothing for your archetype. Dinomist Rush, a trap card, so it's slow as hell. Special summon a Dinomists, which is pretty good. It's unaffected by other cards' effects, which is really effective, but it destroys it during the end phase. That doesn't matter. But the speed of getting this thing off is... what the fuck? Because it's destroyed during the end phase, you can't use it on your opponent's turn. Because what's that going to do for you? You're not going to make plays out of it. It does fucking nothing. So you use it on your turn, which means that you need to waste this card by setting it, doing absolutely nothing, hope that it stays, and then activate it on the next turn. What the hell is the point of that? That is so fucking useless, it hurts. And this card. If a Dinomist monster you control is destroyed by battle or a card effect, target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. Target destruction activated whenever a Dinomist you control is destroyed by battle or card effect. Destroyed. And it is a trap card. This is the most worthless trap card they have. They're the most worthless card they have. As a matter of fact, I'm a bigger fan of stopping fucking floating than this. This is dumb. Now, okay, so every archetype has its shit cards. I mean, that's fine. That's to be expected. But when you have this is all Dinomist have. It is unfortunate. Let's get to the monsters, though. Because I said I was going to talk about the monsters, so here we are. So their only searcher, their only effective searcher is Dinomist Terran, which requires you to beat into a monster by battle. So that's unfortunate. They don't have an actual good searcher. That's all Terran's good for. Now, the Dinomists are kind of cute because they have a series of effects that are meant to protect other Dinomists. So if this is in the Pendulum Zone, you can destroy it instead of another Dinomist card. So if one of your Dinomist cards gets fucking annihilated, I don't know, just interruption, you can destroy it instead so you can still try and make your plays. And the Dinomist cards are just very honest with how they are, because all of them are scale 3 or scale 6. And the reason why that's important, because they're all level 4 and 5, meaning one scale 3, which is like half the archetype, and one scale 6, which is half the archetype, can summon the whole archetype, which is extremely effective. I love that about the Dinomists. And of course, they are water monsters and machines. So the reason I mention this is because 2 level 5 machine monsters can make Cyber Dragon Nova and Cyber Dragon Infinity. And then 2 of the level 4s can make Bahamut Shark and then Totally Awesome. So half your archetype can create an Omni Negate, and then the other half can create a different Omni Negate. This Omni Negate is self-recurring, and this Omni Negate can eat your opponent's monsters. Fucking fantastic. So what's the issue? The issue is they don't have anything to their own. Because dinosaurs have Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, a very effective boss monster that handles itself and really can only be played in dinosaurs for the most part, and that's pretty good. They have Miscellaneousaurus, a very powerful playmaker, which can be activated the second you search it. Of course, Miscellaneousaurus is really busted, but that's not because of its searching ability. It's really busted because it's the ability to delete your opponent's ability to interact with them. So that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a in-hand playmaker. And they also have Fossil Dig, which lets you search any dinosaur. Machine Duplication is a very effective card in a lot of machine decks, but they can't be activated on any of these guys. They don't have good playmakers. Their plays is getting a bunch of cards and pendulum summoning them. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're a pendulum archetype. Of course they're going to be able to pendulum summon. But they can't do the thing they were meant to do effectively. First off, we're not going to talk about anti-spell fragrance or anti-pendulum cards. Let's not talk about that because any pendulum deck falls to that. That's to be expected. But when the new Sulfa chords came out, it really brought back to my mind that, like, Konami listens. Konami understands pendulum. They understand pendulums. They know the problems with pendulums. And they were able to make a pretty effective one. And they just did nothing with it. Like, they do nothing with other pendulum types. I think Endymion is a pretty good pendulum archetype. DDDs, Odd Eyes, those are two pretty fun ones that are very effective at what they do. They got good searchers, they got good playmakers, good boss monsters, they have negations, interruptions, they can play through negations, they can play through interruptions. Let me ask you something. You go through the fucking effort of getting out this Terran so you can search out another playmaker. Maybe a Dinomist Ceratops because you don't have it. And you go to attack. You finally destroyed that monster by battle. Congratulations. And then your opponent Ash Blossoms it. You wasted your main phase and your battle phase for an interaction that all your opponent had to do was to ditch a card from their hand. Not, like... That is extremely unfortunate. And now let's go over to the Dinomist's special summoning ability. Can the Dinomist play outside of a pendulum summon, which you only get to do once per turn and need plenty of setup for? Of course, Dinomist Ceratops says that if all monsters you control are Dinomist monsters and none of them are Dinomist Ceratops, you can special summon this card. Now we have a Pankratops card, which says that if you do not control Dinomist Brachian, and your opponent controls a monster that has the highest attack on the field, you can special summon this card. These are the only cards that do this. There are only 2 cards in the archetype that special summon themselves. One of which you can only do if none of them are Ceratops. And the other one you can only do if you don't control the highest attack monster. Meaning you can't even special summon it going first. You have to go second. Going second decks are fine. That's fucking... Yeah, that's what Pankratops is for. Pankratops is a card designed to benefit decks that like to go second. But what the fuck are you supposed to do going first? This card does nothing for you. The pendulum effects don't do anything. They're just there to try and negate things like this one. Negates something that targets a Dinomist card. Negates something that destroys a Dinomist card. But it does it by destroying itself. Meaning that your opponent still destroys your resources. You don't negate the effect. You're just changing target. That does nothing for you. That doesn't, like... And if they had pretty effective battle floaters, fuck yeah. I would be on board with it. But they got nothing. Nothing. They don't have a Link monster. Here are some archetypes that have pretty effective Link monsters. Super Heavy Samurai. They gave them a Link monster. A fucking Link 1. That is a very great playmaker. Super Heavy Samurai is in the same position that Dinomists are in. It is a pendulum archetype that has its own identity and its own fandom, but wasn't given many support and kind of just died to time. It wasn't really a good archetype. And they gave them a support monster. And it's a pretty effective one. It's pretty good. It's pretty fucking good. I like it. It's a good card. And here's one, Inzektor Picofalena. Here's another card that is very, very important. Because check this out. Picofalena, very good arrows. Super heavy samurai, good arrows. Cyber Dragon Seeger, not even in a pendulum archetype, but Cyber Dragon Seeger is one of the most effective fucking cards in Cyber Dragon, besides Infinity. Seeger does a great job. Seeger is a fucking fantastic monster for Cyber Dragons as a Link monster. So they've shown that they can give quick Link support just to boost a deck, make it playable. Why aren't they doing this for the Dinomists? So what do the Dinomists have for win condition? Well, there's a couple cards that they can try and do, besides going into obvious, like, plays. Like, Infinity or Totally Awesome to try and negate whatever. What can they do? What can they do that makes them stand out amongst the rest? Well, Dinomist Spinos is a pretty effective card because it can attack your opponent directly and can make a second attack during each battle phase. But in order to do so, you have to, for one of each effect, tribute a Dinomist monster. So you need Spinos and two other Dinomist monsters to get both of those effects. And what are you doing? Hitting your opponent for 5,000. For a card that can get hit by infinite impermanence. So let's not talk about counters. Because, of course, yes, if this gets hit by infinite impermanence, you just got rid of so much for nothing. Get fucked. Yeah, that hurts. But there are some pretty interesting combos. Like, for instance, if you have Ceratops and Dinomist Spinos, and you tribute Ceratops for Spinos' first effect, then a Dinomist charge can send him back to your hand, and you can special summon him again. So it is an effective combo that lets you get off both of Spinos' effects for cheaper resources. Again, for something that doesn't really, that's your entire play. That's your entire play. It's trying to base it around one monster. Hopefully this one monster can do it. And that's tough. Of course, limiter removal is a pretty good card for that because it lets you technically hit for 10,000 if your opponent doesn't have any interactions. Which, if you're willing to play slow, you can use cards like Solemn Judgment or the Omni Negates that you can summon, or hell, even go into a Verte Anaconda using the Dragoon engine to try and get out Dragoon. And those are 3 different Omni Negates that you can try and get in this deck to try and stall out your opponent, so you can try and get off the Spinomist effect. Not bad. And of course, Dinomists have this card, a continuous trap called Dinomist Howling, in which, by activating it, you can place 2 Dinomists in your Pendulum Zones for free from your deck. Now, it can be ashed, but we're not going to talk about that. This is a fucking effective card. Very effective. But the problem is that to get it off, because it's a trap card, if you're going to use it for what it's worth, what good is it? What good is this card? Because you just, if you Pendulum Summon your entire, you can keep your hand, set Howling, activate Howling, you get 2 cards in there, and then on the next turn, you can play your entire hand. Yeah, that's fucking awesome, except for the fact that you're gonna die. You just set a single trap card, and then passed, hoping that your opponent isn't going to kill you. This isn't Playground format. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! You're gonna die. Nothing's gonna happen. So, what does Howling itself do besides the effect? Maybe you save Howling for after you stopped 2 destructions, or something. I don't know. Howling lets you tribute a Dinomist monster. It's a quick effect, if I'm correct. Is it a quick effect? No, it is not, actually. That is extremely unfortunate. Oof. Yeah, although it's a trap card, so it should be activatable as a quick effect. So yeah, it's a trap card, so it's spell speed 2 naturally, so yeah. Anyways, once per turn, you can tribute a Dinomist monster, then target 1 card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. That is really effective for, I guess, bouncing, like if they go into a big link play and you activate Howling and you bounce it, that's good. But that's not going to stop them, and you have to tribute a Dinomist to do it, which is a steep cost. Now, and since it's a Dinomist monster, you can't, as far as I know, you can't tribute the cards in your spell trap zone. I don't think that's true though. I think you can, but don't take my word on that. But the resource is hard because you're trying to use your Dinomist to go into plays like Totally Awesome, Savage Dragon Infinity, fucking Dragoon. So why do you have a trap card that requires you to play Dinomists? But again, it's good. It's a good card. It's one of the 2 spell and traps that they have that's actually good. Again, Howling in charge is their only good one. So let's go into the monsters. So that's Spinos. Spinos is their good playmaker. What's the next one? Rex. This guy sucks. He is fucking garbage. you can tribute another Dinomist monster. That requires a resource, again. So, -1 to activate this effect. If he attacks, this card can attack your opponent's monster again, and if it attacks a defense, he gets fucking piercing. So he can attack twice and has piercing. That is pointless for a 2400 attack beat stick. And then the other effect is to tribute one of your cards to make your opponent to shuffle one card from your opponent's hand at random. Then this card gains 100 attack. 100? He's 2500 now. Fantastic. Now you can 1-for-1 a Dark Magician. Fantastic. Wow, man. Playground format's really spiced up this time. Fuck, dude. This is garbage. What does this guy do? All face-up monsters your opponent controls lose 100 in attack and defense for each Dinomist you control. What the fuck does that do? 100? That means that if you are maxed out on Dinomist, they are losing 500 attack. My god. Little Timmy be damned. You just finally beat over his Dark Magician. Because you fucking did it. You outplayed him. You beat over his Dark Magician. You thought it was going to be a 1-for-1, and then you fucking summoned Plesios, and it's done. He's done. And now he's going to go crying to the teacher, saying that you stole his cards because he wants your Dinomists. Yeah, you're fucked now. What about this one? If another pendulum monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy those monsters. Okay. That is nice. But let me ask you something. What the fuck is this going to do? You know what this is supposed to do? This is supposed to say that not him, but a different pendulum monster rams into an opponent's monster by battle and doesn't destroy it, which means that if its defense destroys it, you're not going to fucking deal with that, though. They're going to be an attack, which means that they destroyed your monster. They destroy your monster, and then you get to destroy theirs. What the fuck is the point of that? This card is pointless. You went through so much just to summon this for its shit stats, its shit effect, just to say, hey, it's okay. If you ram into something higher than you, you can at least destroy it by card effect. What if it can't be destroyed by card effect? What if it's Dragoon? They ain't even got to Omni negate that. Ram into a Dragoon, nothing fucking happens. Okay. And the last monster of their archetype is Ankylos. Banish any monster destroyed by battle with the Dinomist monster. So, like what are you supposed to do about this? This is all it does. How are you gonna summon this? You pendulum summon this thing, and now you have a monster that you can't do it itself. It's 1500 attack. Limiter removal? Now you can 1-for-1 that fucking Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yeah, I know. Timmy thought that ever since he got that Kyber structure you were fucked, but sorry, you always have one trick up your sleeve. A fucking 1-for-1. Yeah, that ain't doing shit. Now granted, of course, this is supposed to be for like Rex, right? Rex can attack twice. Okay. Rex attacks twice. Let's look at this guy. Do any of them increase their attack? No, we have Dinomist Power Load. Gains 300 attack and defense. Which makes... he becomes 2700. What does this do? Like, it's a battle archetype that does absolutely nothing. So... And I'm not done just yet. I would like to get into the final closing statements of if I were Konami, what would I do for this deck? For this archetype. Well, let's not get into that. Let's just talk about a little bit more. Here's some things. Here's one last thing, because that's actually what this is about. I want to get to that bit. Here's one last thing they have. Torrential Tribute and Fury of the Kaioshin. Fury of the Kaioshin searches out Torrential Tribute, and then even if it gets ashed, it doesn't matter, because the point of it is that if your water monsters get destroyed, you can banish this from your graveyard instead. Fucking fantastic. You can't negate it because it's not activated. You just get to banish it instead. That is great. I like that card. That card is good. And Torrential Tribute's a pretty solid interaction. You can try and stop your opponent ahead of time. That's not bad. That's not bad. This requires you to go first, though, in a battle-themed archetype. And that's fucking tough. So, real quick, what do I think are the best Dinomist monsters? Let's go ahead and put these four. Dinomist Terran, the Battle Searcher. Dinomist Ceratops, special summon from hand. Special summon from hand as long as you control one Dinomist, and none of them have to be Ceratops. Brachian, a Pancratops. And Spinos, a pretty effective boss monster. At least it gives you something to do. What the fuck are these supposed to do? Battle Piercing? You fucking kidding me? Play Ancient Gears. Play Ancient Gears then. Fuck, dude. You're probably gonna do way better. Fusion's at least easier to get off than this shit. And they have more cards in their archetype. Like, Battle Piercing? That's all this does. Attacks twice, has piercing. Or you can shuffle a card in your opponent's hand after you've already popped off in the battle phase by tributing one of your fucking monsters. This does nothing for the archetype. This card is completely useless. And don't even get me started on these last three. These last three are garbage. Get the fuck rid of them. Get them gone. They don't matter. These four are completely useless. These four, Terran, Ceratops, Brachian, and Spinos, are the four good ones. Which really sucks that the Dinomists are four monsters, but they really are. Terran is a searcher. Sucks that it has to be done through battle, but at least it's a searcher. Ceratops can special summon itself, which is a pretty good extender. And Brachian is a Pancratops, which is pretty solid if you're going second. And Spinos gives your deck a goal. It gives your deck a goal. Run limiter removal, so you can try to go for Spinos OTK. Fucking, like, make Cyber Dragon Infinity totally awesome. Dragoon, all that shit. Fair, fine. Charge lets you, like, if you were to make, let's say, fuck, I don't know. Say you're going for Spinos OTK. Charge at least lets you use Ceratops as a 2-time tribute. Because you have Ceratops, tribute it for one of Spinos' effect. Now you gotta tribute another one, but Charge lets you get back Ceratops. So you just special summon Ceratops again. Because it's not once per turn. That's really good. That's a really good extender. And Dinomist Charge is probably one of the hardest once per turns I've ever fucking seen in my life. So it's fucking fantastic. It is a really good play. But we need more effective Dinomist searchers. So, now that I've gone over all of this, let me go ahead and put these at the last. What do I think Dinomists need to become a playable deck? Not good. I don't want it to be good. I would like if it was good. I'm not asking for it to be good. If I were to ask for Konami to release cards to at least give Dinomist a resurgence, what would I ask? I would ask that, first off, they have a searcher. They need a searcher. If this card is normal or special summon, you can search a Dinomist card from your deck. A Dinomist monster. Not a card. A Dinomist monster. And then they have a second searcher that searches spells and traps. I would like that. And I think the spell and trap one should be a scale 6 monster, should be scale 3. Do I think they should have the ability to special summon themselves? I feel they should. Now, the issue with it is because it's a pendulum archetype, so naturally you're gonna fucking try and do this anyways, right? Like, why wouldn't you? I do think they need to be hard once per turns. Go figure, of course. That's just how it is. But if you're going to have this archetype be good, this archetype absolutely needs a Dinomist monster searcher and a Dinomist spell and trap searcher that go off when they are summoned. So that's 2 cards. What else? I think this deck needs extra monsters own monsters. So extra deck monsters. I think now obviously Konami has shown in the past that they are willing to just make straight main deck only decks. Good examples are Machinas. There is no Machina extra deck monster. Go figure. You know, that happens. And it's a good archetype. It's a good engine. You know, stuff like that. I think that's fine. I think You know, I think they need an extra monster zone monster. Like, when I say extra monster zone, I mean specifically like a link monster. I think they need a link monster. And I think the link monster should allow you to play, like, should allow you to, like, when it is summoned, when it is link summoned, you can search, you know, I want to say a Dinomist, you know, I'd say when it's link summoned, you can add a Dinomist card from your graveyard to your hand. That's a pretty good card. I'd say that's pretty solid for trying to extend out certain stuff, especially if you try and make it off of Ceratops and you add Ceratops back to hand and you can summon Ceratops again. I think that's effective. I'm not really a big fan of saying, hey, look at the Dinomists. Let's make these guys Infinity, totally awesome, Dragoon, Turbo, like control and shit. But you might as well. Like, I like the idea of them being an OTK. They are a battle-themed archetype. They're designed to fucking be that way. So let's make them more aggro. But, of course, if you wanted to, I wouldn't be against them having cards like the Venoms have, which is a solemn judgment that you get by showing a Venom monster. So, of course, maybe a interaction, like a trap card that says, like, I don't know, like, do something to, if you control a Dinomist monster, or negate a monster effect. There you go. Like, if you control a like, I don't know, I think a pretty cool would be, like, what's a good name? I'd say, like, Dinomist Reinforcement. And then it would be, it's literally just that. Like, it's a counter trap that says if you control a Dinomist monster, or if you control 2 Dinomist monsters, or something, fucking negate it. It would give you a reason to try and play with the actual Dinomist. So they need a Dinomist Searcher for the spell, a Dinomist Searcher for monsters, a Dinomist Link monster, 2 Link 2, Link 1, I don't care. And one last card I'd say that they should have. They need a Dinomist, and they need an interaction with the fact that they all like to tribute each other, specifically Rex and Spinos. I think they need, actually, I think a really good, fun thing would be a Dinomist Xyz monster. Maybe 2. A Dinomist rank 4 and a Dinomist rank 5. That would be fun, considering the fact you'd have to run some pretty big Dinomist for it. And then, let's say, target, you can attach 2 materials from this card to double the attack of all Dinomists you control until the end of the turn. Because then if you get him, and then you get Spinos, it would reward you for trying to really turbo it out, because if you got Spinos, Ceratops, and that rank 4, then you can use Ceratops for Spinos' thing, and double Spinos' attack, and then you can use double Spinos' attack, and then, you know, obviously go throughout the whole, like, thing with that. And then you can use Spinos to tribute the Xyz monster and try and go for an OTK. How solid would that be as, like, a going second deck? I think that would be amazing. I think that would be fun. I think, and see, not saying it's going to be good. I don't want the Dinomist to be good, but I think the Dinomist absolutely need support. Because the Dinomists right now are unplayable. What am I supposed to do with these? Like, what do you do with Dinomist Rex, Plesios, Stegosaur, and Ankylos? What do you do? Like, man, these guys suck. Like, they are not good. I think one last card that would be a really cute idea would actually be, like, take the Cyber Dragon route. Have a fusion monster. How fucking crazy would that be? A contact fusion. A contact fusion of, like, 3 Dinomists that can attack all of your opponent's monsters once each. Maybe once each, right? Let's say. And it has piercing. Why would that be a thing? Because then you can try and turbo out, maybe like limiter removal or something. Like, try to give it a bunch of attack. And then, if you have Ankylos, you banish them all instead. Like, you just fucking Dark Claw, but through the battle phase. Like, that is fucking cool. Not saying it's good, but it would be fun. It would be something neat. These 4 do absolutely nothing for you. Plesios negs all of your opponent's monsters by 500 attack. What does that do for you? That does absolutely nothing. And at the end of the day, you're praying that you get off like the 4 good Dinomists and that no interaction happens, and that you're trying to go for like Spinos OTK, or that you're trying to go for like Infinity, totally awesome, and all this shit and all that. And you know what else could do that better? Literally any other deck. Like, just play any other deck, man. Like, what cards in this deck are Dinomist that are actually good that you should play? Oh, simple. Dinomist Howling, Dinomist Charge, and these 4 monsters. That's it. The rest of it's generic. What the fuck? Like, what do? You run these guys because you have to. Because they have the Dinomist name and they are monsters and you need pendulum monsters. Like, that is why you run it. That is completely garbage and I fucking hate it. I'm going to say this now. If they do make 1 card, if they are to only make 1 Dinomist card, what would I ask them to make? I would ask them to make a Link 2 Dinomist monster, and I swear to God, I want it to be called Miss Tyrannosaurus as a meme. I fucking stand by that. I want them to make at least a Link 2 monster that helps them play through negation. If you're gonna fucking just make the deck Infinity Totally Awesome Dragoon, then at least give them like a Link 2 monster. Like a Link 2 monster that could be summoned using any Dinomists. 2 Dinomist monsters. And it lets you, like, I don't know, you can special summon a Dinomist from your hand. You can target a Dinomist in your hand and a Dinomist in your graveyard. Special summon both those targets to zones that this card points to. And it would at least let you extend. Now, why does that sound... Now, that sounds insane. Sure. On, like, any other deck. Like, if they gave that to dragons... Dude. I mean, they basically did. Yeah, they basically did. But, like... what? Like, dude. Come on. Like, this is dog shit. And it's, like, it's okay. You know, there are archetypes that need love. You know, I think Speedroids should get something bigger. I think Lunalights should definitely get something. I really like the Lunalights, and I think the Lunalights should get a card. After Tiger was banned, Lunalights has never been the same, and I absolutely feel like Lunalights need a new card. 100% agree. I feel that is absolutely... They're fine. They got plenty of monsters. They got plenty of playstyles. They got plenty of shit. I think they need a new card. But you know who really needs a new card? The Dinomist do. Absolutely. I spent a long time talking about this, and I'm very thankful for you sticking around and listening to all of it. I'm far away from my mic. You can see it's right there. Well, you can't see it, but it's right there. I've been far away from my mic, and my mic ain't the best quality, so if you've been willing to... if my voice hasn't been too much for you, then I am very thankful that you made it this far. Feel free to voice your own opinion. And if you really feel like it's like, you know what? I have an archetype I feel needs fucking love. Please, make a video. Even if it's like a shitty one, record it on your phone. Make a video, talk about what you think they should need, post it, and let me know. Like, literally, like, comment it or something, so I can see it. I can give my love on it. Hell, I might even try and make a video depending on the archetype. Like, if it's like a Lunalights or something, I don't know. I might get my 2 cents in. But if you see this and you agree with it, then yeah, I definitely implore that you do the same thing. And if you are a Dinomist fan, I implore you to give your 2 cents in and fucking speak out about it. I'm not trying to be the Pain 96 of Dinomist. No, I have archetypes I like a hell of a lot more than these guys. I can name 5 of them, the main 5 for me off the bat. That being Blackluster Soldier, rest in peace. That's a man that needs love. It's a fucking big arc. It's a big guy too. It's a big dude. So why doesn't he get love? But anyways, Cyber Dragons. That being my #1 favorite deck of all time. Synchrons. Really like. I like Stardust Dragon. Stardust Dragon's my favorite guy ever. And Junks/Synchrons are really good at that. But I like the Photons. Love the Galaxy. I love Galaxy Eyes so much it hurts. And finally, Adignisters. Adignisters are my baby. And there are little other things that I'm playing on the side. Like, I love dinosaurs. Not as much as the main 5, but I love dinosaurs a lot. I actually have a dinosaur playmat. You can't see it. Maybe you will one day. But there's it's literally right there. So that's actually really cute. It's the Team Samurai one. So because it's I like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. So it's cool. You know, and all that. So these guys definitely aren't up there, but the Dinomists they're very honest and very fun bunch of monsters, and I really do hope that one day Konami finally decides, like, yeah, let's not just shit out a small pack filler support, like, let's really give them something that they can run with, you know, kind of like what they did with Sacred Beast and stuff. Like, it's not meta, but you can still play it. Like, I definitely at least want that for them. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best. See ya.